Good evening, everybody. Are we tired? Please don't be tired. I beg to take my seat. Okay, so I go by the name Caroline Ejibinu, popularly known as Carolaura, and I'll be taking this segment. So we'd like to have a panelist on. So it's going to be a segment where we ask them 3 questions that we have here. Then in like 20 minutes we round up. Then if you have questions for them, there is opportunity for you to pen it down and ask. Okay, from my list here, please a round of applause for Mr. Oluwatobi Bayo David.
Mr. Oluwatobi Bayo David is an experienced creative based in Ondo City with over a decade of experience working with Nigerian and international clients. He has successfully branded numerous businesses, including Distinct Africa, Flyer Matters Varsity, Knox Logistics, Mukeke Frozen Foods, Tiara Mats, Perena Supermarkets, and Rich Pastures International, among others. His expertise lies in brand development, bringing creativity and innovation to every project.
And coming up next to him, Mr. Biodun Bamigboye.
Mr. Biodun Bamigboye is a Nigerian tech entrepreneur. He co-founded Innovate Limited and created ePortalNet, a school management system that benefits underserved communities. Biodun has experience working with international clients and uses his accounting background to navigate the business aspects of tech.
Dr. Muyiwa
Oluwatobi David is a health tech innovator skilled in graphic design, software engineering, and web development. He founded Global Med Technologies Limited and MedWalker, a health and emergency management platform impacting thousands of students through volunteer projects. Muyiwa holds key positions at the University Co-Creation Hub and High Technology Support Limited, and has received the British Council Innovator of the Year award twice.
Ms. Bukola Aladesulu.
Ms. Bukola Aladesulu is a passionate advocate for digital inclusion and youth development. She leads as president of Innovation and currently building her startup called DigiWriter. She engages in global initiatives and prestigious events like the World Creative Business Cup and CWM United Nations, having recently been chosen as one of the young leaders to represent Lagos in Finland, making her a fellow of the Management Institute of Finland. Bukola's commitment to social impact is evident in her multifaceted leadership roles and activities.
We have one more microphone. We need one more microphone. Okay, so the first question I'm going to be asking is actually for all of you on the seat. And the other questions, I might start to point hands, I might start to mention names too. So the first question I'm going to ask is, just give us a brief summary of how you started your tech journey. Because for me, I'm not a tech person. Yeah, honestly, I'm not. What I do is media and business. So, and I'm kind of have interests, but then probably from 1 or 2 stories, I can decide to move into tech because it's beginning to look like we are lacking behind if we are not into tech, kind of. So I want you to give a summary of your tech journey so far. How has it been starting and now?
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
A wonderful afternoon to everybody. I'll be basically talking about my tech journey. I think my tech journey started quite early enough. although it had always started with the basic being an inquisitive person, trying to explore the technicalities. You know, the natural guy vibes. When you are seeing something, you see a new phone and you want to know what is inside. You see a radio, you want to dismantle it and see how it works and all. That was how it basically started for me from my very, very young age. But diving into tech per se started far back as 2015. I think 2016 when I entered medical school and all. And through that period, I remember back then in 100 level, 200 level, I decided so much that I was going to just focus on being a tech guy, irrespective of whatever the expectations were. You know, being a medical student back then, you had a lot of expectations. Everybody wants to see you on top of the world, being a doctor and all. But to the surprise of everybody, I chose to just dive into tech. And it started with YouTube for me. I didn't have a teacher. I didn't even know anybody into tech at that period in time. I started with YouTube. I picked a programming language. I decided I wanted to learn HTML, JavaScript and all. Although it was just to learn the basics. But as time moved on, I was able to develop myself in the world of tech, have understanding in where I should channel my energy into. And it was then I learned about what front end is, what back end is, what DevOps is and all that. So defining myself into technology started basically in my university, fully in the university section. And it was not easy considering being a medical student, and it took a lot of stress, but I had to pay the sacrifice. I remember back then, there was a particular time I spent 12 weeks not attending classes. I was from my room to the library. Then our library had internet connection, regular power supply. So from the room to the library, reading books, watching YouTube videos, coding. That was how it started. But as time grew up, as time went by, I was developing my skill. The sacrifices I paid began to show its face. And today I can fully say I've been able to achieve a lot in the tech space. And not just being a developer, but also being an entrepreneur in the tech space. Thank you.
Thank you. Please.
Thank you. So my name is Biodun Bamigboye, and my journey in tech. First of all, I have to ask you like how many minutes, because I can keep going till tomorrow. Yeah, it's something that I find quite fascinating and interesting, and something that marvels me myself. Like you said, as a kid, I was someone that is so curious. I'm the one that scatters all the wire, fixes all the TV, and configures all the phone. And most of the time, I lock phones that I can't open again. So I was that child you would hide your gadget from. I was that child. You would never want to see me around your gadget. I changed the configurations. So it continued on and on till I entered ND. I studied accountancy at Kwara State Polytechnic, and I have one roommate that God has spectacularly used to bless me. This person works in the street. When I mean the street, where we repair phones, gadgets, and he just saw my love for all this stuff. He was like, guy, everything you are doing here for free, in the street we use it to make money. I was like, these things are natural. I've been doing it for everybody. Everybody would know the days of Java phone, configure, MTN, web.gprs.mtnnigeria.net, 192.160, all those stuff. I could see some bro, like. So those days, all these things, like he said, and truth be told, he introduced me to the streets, and that was the beginning of it all. I must say, the street is the place to get a lot of acumen, both business, entrepreneurship, and everything, because the street is wide, and it doesn't define who you are. You define who you are. So he introduced me to the street, and okay, so this thing, we can start to make it to you 200, 500, 1K. At the end of the day, you start making 2K, 3K daily. Like, it becomes more interesting. So after a while, this same person went for service here. Like, this person actually had a lot of interest in me. And it was like, during his time in camp, they taught them something relating to web development. He knows he's not having the intellectual capacity, but he's sure I have it, that I should go for it. that instead of learning to repair phones, I should learn software development. So seeing him as an elder brother, I just took that advice, and by this time, I had finished ND. So I was in my IT period, and we know it is a 1-year period. So the first 6 months, I used it to work in the street to gather enough money to buy a laptop. And the last 6 months, I picked up a tech course at Winners World Technology in Ilorin. Wow. This moment was a defining moment because it was a moment where I had to go through all the basics, and it was so fascinating that even when I got back to school, now I have like 3 activities. I'm into tech, I also in the streets, and I want to be a bright student. So combining all this stuff together was so challenging that you have to go to school in the morning, also in the street in the afternoon, write code at night, read midnight, and it has to go back to back till I finish the higher institution. But I just find it fascinating and interesting. And I was lucky enough to meet a lecturer that kind of adopted me. And with him, I did my first project of working a master's thesis and building some couple of apps and going to a lecturer's house, and the lecturer is treating you like a friend. Makes it like, man, this is the way I want to go. And from that time, I kept the consistency. From 2015 to 2018, even while in camp, I built a software for them in camp. I just kept looking for problems. I served in a media house in the accounting department. I built a software before I finished. So, and it continues on and on and on. And so it's just the consistency, the curiosity, and being intentional about what I want to do in tech, and that's what has got me to this stage. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Trust you're doing great. My name is Oluwatobi Bayo David, and my journey through tech. First and foremost, I'd like to say that there are lots of people that believe that being a brand designer does not make you a tech guy. Yeah. So if you check on Twitter or X right now, you would see that there are lots of people saying, is being a brand designer a tech guy? Like, are you a tech guy if you are into brand design, or you're not a tech guy? So there's still the debate online currently. So if you check, you might still be able to see and ask. Maybe you might be able to answer for us that if a brand designer is actually a tech guy or not. All right, I started with brand design back earlier than I even realized, because it was because I read a book that gave me that insight into going into brand design. And for people that know this author, Dan Brown, how many of you know Dan Brown? Yes, Dan Brown is an author, and his books are always very fascinating, and I love reading his books because the books, they get me to think about ideas and concepts and logos and icons and symbols. I know I love cryptography a lot, so much. So, and that was where I began from. But probably before that, I remember that I love many things. I know I am here for some people today. I am here for people that love many things but do not know which one to finally pick. Like, there are some of you here right now that knows how to do multiple things. For me, I studied mathematics. I love music so much that I play bass guitar, and at the same time, I love art. I do pencil arts. I do. I also do colors. You know, it became so hard for me to pick between the three because I was studying mathematics. I love mathematics well. Also, I do music well, like music very well. I play bass guitar, and equally, I love art. And you know, I was in between the three. But I would say that my saving grace was when I went for NYSC in 2016. I had the opportunity to volunteer for an organization, and I was asked to do some things for them. And from there, I realized that I started falling in love more and more with art. Now, when you check art and design, they are close, although they are different. Art is about the expression of the artist. Meanwhile, design is a solution that you give. And from there, I fell in love with design, and I was like, okay, where can I get to learn more about this very particular thing? And I remember I went to Facebook, and I met some creatives, and from there, I started asking questions. And one of the things you can do for yourself is to ask great questions. I really asked great questions, and I would say that I was very patient. I was very patient because many times, some of them would not answer you in time. I was very patient. I asked questions so that perhaps in the near future you ask questions from people and they didn't answer you in time. It's not like they are proud. They are very busy. And I asked questions, and over time, I was able to get the attention of someone that puts me through what design is really about. And I can say that from then till now, I've been doing excellently well. I've been doing excellently well, like far beyond what I even imagined. Now, before I round off, I would say that my first design was 500 naira. And the reason why I mentioned this is because whenever I remember the story, it always makes me feel good about what I'm doing currently. The first design I did was 500 naira, and I remembered when the person said, I want to do logo design, and I said 500 naira, and the person didn't have that money. I can remember very well. The person didn't have that cash right there, and he went to somebody beside the road. The person was sewing, and he said, sister, lend me 500. She collected 500 from the person and gave it to me. And when I got home, I was like, if somebody can give me 500 naira beside the road for something, then it means this very thing is valuable. Is valuable. And from then, I've been working more and more, and today I've been working with international brands. I've worked with brands in UK, US, Sweden. I've worked with brands in diverse places across the world, and I would say that tech is a place and that you have to be. Today, everything you are doing is first a technology business before what you are doing. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.
Okay, so before I get started, I would want to ask the minute that is allocated to every one of us, so that we will not
let's
exceed.
2 minutes, please.
Yeah, because I love storytelling a lot. I might get carried away.
Okay.
So you can take me back.
Let's do 2 minutes, please.
Okay, thank you. So I'm Bukola Aladesulu, and I'm a digital advocate and youth development. I'm a digital inclusion and youth development advocate, and I think that is where I started my tech career. My story is going to be a little bit different from the rest of my fellow panelists, because I regard myself as more of a tech conductor than a tech person. That is, I'm not necessarily in tech myself, but then because I love digital inclusion, how I started, right? I started at a very young age of 18, and then I saw that there are a lot of people that had potentials, that had things that they wanted to do, but they did not have enough resources to do that. So I founded my first organization called Innovation. It's a combination of innovation and teenagers. So what I did was that I brought together a team of young people like myself, and then we would go to underrepresented, underdeveloped places in Lagos, and then we'll bring together teenagers and teach them tech skills. So that is how I actually started my tech career. And over the years, we've been able to train as many people as possible in Lagos. And this has given me a lot of platform to also work with. I work with top people and in fact top organizations because of this particular career that I've chosen. And also, I think part of my tech career would also be that working with Plural Code Academy. So I was able to work with a particular tech academy as the partnership associate of the company. And I think one of the things that had also brought me into the tech space would be the realization of the importance of tech. I believe that when people talk about tech, one thing that comes to your mind would be graphic design, UI, UX, and all of that. But then there is a lot of paradigm that needs to be shifted, and that is where I am coming into, because I believe that tech is more than that. And that is the reason why I'm trying to bring together young people like myself to basically teach young people tech. So I'm more like a conductor, not necessarily a tech person myself. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Please, a round of applause for our panelists. So I want to intentionally direct this question to Dr. And I have my reasons. You're going to be telling us ways that students, you were a student when you started your tech journey. So you're going to tell us some ways we can go around tech, even as a student, and with shikini money. Is that not it? With shikini money, because we always think that tech is expensive. Because coming up from, if you want to be a graphic designer, there's 2 days, one-to-one, they will say pay 500,000, pay. So as a student, give us ways where we can actually go into tech, but at a very minimal rate.
Thank you very much for that question. I'd like to start with the fact that we must understand our peculiarities as students. Now, one thing I will have to say is this. As students, we have a lot of time in our hands, especially university students. We may say we are filled with class. We have a lot of classes. We have a lot of activities going on per day. But by the time you calculate the leisure time you have in a whole week, you realize that it's quite even more than the time you use to do things that are productive. It might not apply to everybody, but for a good number of students, especially in Nigeria, this applies. Now, you must understand your timeline. You must understand the time you have available for you. And then you come to the point of understanding that, what do I want to learn?
Okay.
I want to put myself into the tech space. Okay. As a student, I have a whole lot of academic activities to learn. The learning process is quite on the high side for me, but still, I want to learn tech. I want to go into the tech world. You must first understand what you want to learn. Now, after you have chosen what you want to learn, you should be able to prioritize your time. I was telling them the story of how I missed 6 weeks of lectures just to focus on my academics. It was personal. It was a personal decision because I knew what I wanted to build. I know where I wanted to be, and I know that if I didn't make that sacrifice, I wouldn't have been able to achieve it with the whole workload I had on me. But then there are a lot of opportunities that allow students to be able to achieve these goals of including themselves into tech. I didn't have any teacher to teach me tech. I learned tech on YouTube. I learned software development on YouTube. You might say that YouTube is open to everybody, but yes, if you are willing to put your mind to it, and you are able to get people in your environment to direct you right, YouTube is a lot to learn on. Now talk the less of when you now have Coursera, you have other platforms that have free courses. If you calculate the amount of data that you spend in a day, or let me say in a week, I was going through my phone, I was showing somebody, I realized that I spent more than 640, between the last month, that is, we're in April, in March, I spent more than 649 gig on Netflix alone. And I was asking myself that how? If I'm to ask myself the question that where did I get the money to buy this data? I'll be like, I don't have the money to buy 1 terabyte. Oh. But by the time you calculate everything together, you realize that you actually spend a lot on data. Okay. But what do we use that data to do? WhatsApp, Instagram, TikTok, and all these social medias. But this social media is also available for us to learn. YouTube is available for you to learn. You just need to put your mind into, number one, knowing what you want to learn. Number two, finding the right mentors to be able to direct you on what to learn. And number three, dedicating your time to the learning process. There are free courses online. We have Coursera. We have a lot of free courses online for you to be able to learn. So, as a student, saying you don't have the opportunity to include yourself into tech, as long as you have a smartphone, as long as your Android phone can code, let me tell you that. You may feel like, I can just use it to call. It can code. You just need to learn how to do it. And go on YouTube. How can I use my Android phone to code? It will tell you, it will show you how to do it. So all these things are things that we find readily available. But the problem we have is that we are not able to learn, to get the information and utilize the information effectively. That's the problem many youths have, and many students have today. But this is a call to each and everybody, one of us. Let's take and harness these opportunities. They may seem so simple, but it is readily available, and you need the determination to be able to achieve the best. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Please, in case you have any question, just pen it down and give it to Mr. Icon, the MC. All right, so straight to Mr. Bamigboye. Am I right? Oh, okay. So this is the question. You were telling us when you were starting to tell us how you went into tech, that there was a time you created a software, even in camp and all of that. So how do you think you can, how can you teach, or how can you tell us to go into tech through like youth? I'm talking about the youth now, the young ones. Like, how do you think a youth can go into tech and use it as a source of income, working directly from home? Because going on Facebook, there's always this ads that always come in, work from home, and when you watch the whole video from morning to evening, there's nothing to pinpoint. I'll just be like, this is just a waste of time and data at the end of the day. So how do you think we can make tech be a source of income and a way of we working directly from home?
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Today I was part of the workshop, and we addressed a lot of topic around this. So first of all, tech is a process. It's not something you start earning the first day. The first stage in tech is to volunteer. And volunteering means intentionally going to people that have real life problems and solving their problem. Like I said, while in camp, what they needed was a passport sorting system. Yeah. Normally they have to sort the passport manually. After snapping, they write the name somewhere. So all we have to do, okay, come on, rename these passports, and with their state code, I can be able to solve it with a programming language. Like, all the people there were fascinated. At some point, I'm not a regular core member. Like, just like that. You understand what I'm trying to say? But I'm not being paid.
Oh, you were not paid for the...
I'm not paid for it. So that's the first stage. Because if I did not do that, nobody knows I can do anything. So you have to first, like, make yourself visible. You have to appear like the boss. You have to show that you are the Indaboski. Nobody actually cares about you until you care about yourself. Exactly. And you have to let them know it. So first of all, volunteer. Solve people's problem. You know, I mentioned I built like a calculator while in school. Okay. Nobody will pay me for it, but I see a problem in class, and if any of my classmates would have a software programming problem, the first name that will pop up is Biodun Bamigboye. Because I've done it in their face. Okay. They've seen the reality, they tried it, it works. So after you volunteer, the next stage is you look for people that has problem and does not have enough money to solve it. Then you can solve it as a lesser amount. So I was holding a conference at our office, and I was telling them that I even mentioned it to the Nigerians. If they pay you 1,000, Nigerians will hold you responsible like they paid you 1 million.
I know, right?
So you start working for people and getting the lesser pay. What you are doing is you are building yourself. Their money is not what matters. Oh, okay. Like personally, I run a startup, and it has some products like a product like Eportanet. Like Eportanet itself is not grossing a big amount. Okay. But the energy I'm giving to the schools that I'm managing is like I'm earning $1 million from them. But the fact is just that the goodwill from me running a product is making me more. Okay. So if I add it to my CV, I've built a school management system, and I'm good at that storytelling. You'll be like, wow, how does it work? You add your students, you print their results, and I'll be like, and it's working and people are using it. And I say, yes, they are using it. Now I have something to present. Because the problem with people in tech is, with nothing to present, we are asking for millions of naira. You can't ask for money when you have not shown evidence. You go explain tire. So the first thing in my CV were actually self-built. But when I'm telling the story, and another thing, invest in it. People don't want to pay before they make the money. Okay. You have to pay. For example, if I build a project, I go and buy a domain name. I host it with a real name. For example, some tech guys are using Heroku.app.netlify. Once you send me that link, I know, okay, you are still joking. But if you just say, like, for example, traveler.app, like, I don't even know if you are making money from it. Okay. But I know this is, you understand? If I say, okay, eportanet.com, you don't even want to care if I'm making money. You scroll through it, everything is working, you log in, it's, come on, I'll give you my money. to do something like this for me.
Exactly.
So after you volunteer and you start like working for people and earning little by little, by the time you now package all the story together, you now present it to the bigger boys that I'm here, I can solve this problem. So keep solving people's problem until you amass enough energy to make more money. That's just a simple way.
All right, so from your explanation, it's not money first. All right, noted, sir. So please pass the mic to Mr. David. Mr. David, I don't know why I'm smiling. All right, so the next question for you is, how can technology be used to create opportunities? Okay, I think I asked you that. What online platform or tools would you recommend for students looking for tech skills? Okay, so what tools do you think? What network, what platform would you advise?
All right, thank you for that question.
Yeah.
Okay, so each and every day, I think many of us, there are lots of information we might not even have.
Okay.
I mean it by saying that the hours we've spent in this very conference, there are new things, there are new softwares, there are new products, there are new tools that are better, that are coming up right now. So even if we are mentioning names right now, we might not be able to mention the good ones, like the better ones. So I would say that the best bet that you can do for yourself right now is always ask good questions from either Google or ChatGPT or, all those artificial intelligence and all those, tools that you have around you. Okay. If you don't know how to ask Google question, ask Google that same question. How do I maximize Google? There is a way to ask Google question, and it's going to give you extra information than the normal what app do I use for this? You can use apostrophes. You can use underscores. Yes, you can use double apostrophe. Those things have a way of giving you extra results. Yes. So if you don't know how to use that, you can also ask. I know many of you are aware of ChatGPT right now. ChatGPT. All right. So you can go to ChatGPT and ask that same question. What are the tools? What are the tools? There are lots of new softwares, lots of new tools that are coming up right now. So even if you have one that you are using right now, there is possibility and chance that it is already almost obsolete. That is almost like not having the right information. I think there was a time I prompted ChatGPT, and the result that came up was not the original one that was supposed to come. So if you are not careful, you would have information from things that are not, like you can be reading right now, or you want to make research, and the research you are having would not be up to date. So I want you to go to Google or ChatGPT and ask the questions. You will see tools. However, if you want to learn, I think the first place you should go to is a search engine, and the best one is a video search engine. And I would say YouTube is still one of the best around. You can have visual and you can have audio at the same time. You would see multiple people explaining the same things, and you can see different perspectives and diverse angles to the same very subject matter. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. David. All right, so Ms. Busola. So the question I have for you is saying, are there any specific skills or courses in technology that young people should focus on to increase their income potential?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. But please, before I continue, please, because I'm a digital storyteller, I would love to tell this story when we are done with this story, particular session. Right. Please, can the photographer please come take pictures of us as we speak? It's very pertinent that we get a picture from this as we speak.
We have pictures already.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. Because I can't see one, that's the reason I had to state the obvious. Okay. Yes, okay, so to the specific skills, I think the problem would start, the problem with this particular, should I say, discourse would be that we are looking at tech from a place of, I want to make money.
Yes.
Yes.
That's it though. Don't even go back.
This is a very controversial conversation. honestly.
Okay.
Because, I was opportune to go to Finland match by match. And one of the things that we saw was that these people are not into tech because they necessarily want to make money. Although it's one of the important things. I believe in value, the monetary value of whatever it is that you're doing.
Yes.
But then there's also an importance in the fact that whatever it is that I want to do, I want to use it to solve a particular problem.
Okay.
Now, it is very important. The truth is, all tech skills from business analysis to data analysis to UI, UX, product design, web development, robotics, whatever it is that you want to do, it is very important that firstly, because every one of them is, I want to say Ogunwo, because honestly, every one of them is actually money earning. You would earn an income from every one of them. Tech is leading the world right now. There is no tech that you would go to or that you would go for that you would not earn in it. So just let's leave the space of, which one should I go for? Because I think the reason why I want to answer this question this way, right, is because I've been able to work, I told you I work in Plural Code, and one of the things that we do is that we are also an academy, right? We teach people. So during consultation, we would have our prospect come ask us the question of which one of these courses should I think I should go for? Which one is the most earning? And then we would ask you, which one do you have interest in? And this is the true fact. We've done a research on this thing. Is that for people that would go to a particular course just because it is earning, a lot of them would go to coding and programming, which is like the hardest. They would opt out. In less than 1 month, we will call them, they will not pick again. I'm not interested, don't call me. Or they want to change to another course. So it is very important that you do not necessarily look at, okay, what this thing wants to give to me and all of that. It is important, right? But you should also look at it from a space of what is my capacity? What are my interests? Okay, for me as an example, I can basically say that I'm a tech writer because I'm into writing. When I wanted to start Plural Code, they asked me, what skill would you want to go for? And then I picked product design because, my friend told me product design is hanging and all of that. It didn't give me joy. I ran away from it. Our tech developer I had to tell him that I'm not interested in this and I'm just going to stick to the UX aspect of product design and I'm going to go into writing because I have my passion in writing. You cannot tell me to go into design when I have writing. Writing gives me joy. So there is importance in you, apart from the fact that you want to, I want to go into this because of the money. There's also an importance of you doing something you love. Because at the end of the day, if you don't do something you love, you will regret it at the end of the day. That's just the truth of it. Because I think myself and Mr. Biodun we were having a particular conversation yesterday, and we were talking about borderline work psychopathy, how people that want to change the world would have to be extremely crazy people in terms of work capacity. If you are not doing something you love, you will not be able to put in hours and years of your life into that particular thing because it is not giving you joy. So it is very important that you actually consider that when you want to make your decisions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So we have 2 questions from the audience. So the first question is saying, how can we be technologically oriented? I don't know. So who's going to do justice to that? Please. Thank you.
First of all, that is in line with the question my brother answered earlier.
Okay.
And I actually have an addition to that.
All right.
So these days, the social media, internet has given us a pedestal of advantage that our forefathers do not have. And
okay.
for this our age, we should take advantage of it. Our forefathers do not have a library. Like they have to travel abroad and have one person bring a piece of a book before they can read.
Yeah.
Like as we are doing this conference, they are streaming it. People in other states
they are learning.
they have to send it through post office. And now we have access to billionaires. I can follow Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, all these people and study the way they live. What am I trying to say? Follow the right people. Do not just in order to be abreast, be motivated, you have to expand your vision, your capacity. You have to think beyond normal. And expanding yourself, it's something that is intentional. You have to know you have a limit and you want to break that limit. Because most of the time, we don't understand we have a limit. And until you understand that, as of today, I tell myself I'm the worst developer that I can ever be. And every day I knew I have to do something different. I have to pick up a new skill. I have to learn more. I have to practice more. I have to go into this and that. Why? Because I know there is always a limit, and until you identify that. So if you follow the right people online, me as a person, the people I see as celebrities, I find it funny. Nobody might know their name here. Taylor Otwell, Aaron Francis, Povila Skoro. Everybody will be like, who are these people? But they are the people in my feed. Like, I follow them on Twitter. I see their updates. I'm abreast of everything. At times when I'm speaking with people even not from Nigeria, they'll be like, how do you get to know all these latest things? Immediately the notifications on my phone pop up. PHP, JavaScript, AI. Before you could see notifications of Davido, because I know I'm not into artists, whenever I want to have fun, I intentionally go to those sections. So what am I trying to say? Like, let's try to take advantage of social media. Let's follow the right people. Let's learn from as much people as we can. So with that, you would answer this question. You would have the right orientation. Now, the second part of it is, internet is a vast land where you can get lost. Okay. And my brother has answered it. Learn to ask the right questions. Exactly. And pick the right mentors. And it's easy. You can look at their history. You can look at their projection. Because there is a lot of time when you are seeking information and you are even getting an information that is wrong entirely. And you won't know. And ignorantly, you will embrace it. You would embrace it.
All right. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
Please,
that I'm taking
just a minute. Go ahead, please.
Okay. So let me just wind it down. So for you to be technologically inclined, first of all, you have to know you have a limit. Okay. Seek more information. Follow the right people online. Ask the right questions. Then physically, within your environment, look for people of capacity. Yeah, like, and cling to them. Like, people of capacity like to impact. It's just that they don't have time. I can bet it with you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So 2 more questions, but this question is going to be a little bit technical, like you guys used to say. So what I'm going to ask you, I'm asking 2 questions. So I'm going to make a count of 1, 2, 3, then you make your answer. So I'll ask you a question, then I'll count 1, 2, 3. You give your answer in chorus. The second question, I count 1, 2, 3, you give your answer in chorus. So the first question is saying, can someone who is not too sound mathematically venture into coding, software developing, and its relative? 1, 2, 3. Okay, 3 yes, 1 no. All right, the next question is saying, if dollar falls and is equivalent to naira, would you do tech? 1, 2, 3. Yes. Okay, thank you very much for coming.